Howdy. Here we have animated Blitzwing, one of my favourites from the show. Like his G1 counterpart, he's a triple changer, but in more ways than one. I'll get to that in a bit. He's packaged in jet mode, so I'll start with that. The actual jet parts resemble an F-14 Tomcat. They're fairly proportionate, except for the wings, which are almost flat. That's necessary for the transformation, but it still bothers me some. One thing I do like is how the tank barrels form exhausts, with the missiles resembling jet plumes, like movie Dreadwing and Overcast. The colour layout is more or less cartoon accurate, and the colours themselves are close to G1 Blitzwing, albeit with more black. Also, for an animated figure, there's some nice mold detailing, mainly on the wings and fins. Paint detailing is just as good. You can just make out the back of the helmet near the cockpit, but the real big extras are the tank treads, which practically act as the landing gear. From the sides and front, it looks like a jet crashed on top of a tank. Stability isn't so great either. The front doesn't lock down, and two pegs at the tail section slide into holes at the rear, but can slide out just as easily. This is definitely not the mode the toy was designed around. The transformation to tank mode basically involves folding everything up. I suggest removing the missiles before doing so. They'll just fire accidentally. The tank isn't based on an actual model. It's one of those cases where it's a tank because it has treads, a turret and some gun barrels. On the other hand, there are no real jet or robot extras, and it's more solid, though the tread pieces don't lock anywhere. The colours are more or less the same, and they don't look bad on a tank either. There's some real nice moulding on the treads. And I also like this shape here, as it possibly hints his angry face in robot mode. For features, he rolls on small wheels in the treads, like before. The turret can turn a full 360, and the missiles can fire. Some position the barrels like this, or this, folded out to the sides. The transformation to robot mode is fairly simple from here or the jet, but the instructions only show you where to go from the tank. How you position the wings is up to you. Now this is where the figure really shines. The bulky proportions make him look tough, and while the gun barrels can't point forward, they help him look imposing at least. Again, the colours are no different, and the general aesthetics evoke G1 Blitzwing a little. You know, without the robot being an exact copy of the original. For instance, G1 Blitzwing had a gun barrel sticking out behind him. Animated Blitzwing has two. Articulation is great. His large feet make him very stable, and he's jointed in such a way that you can get him in poses appropriate for the character. Well, characters. Talking of which, his main feature is the face switching gimmick, which you work by turning this dial on the back of his helmet. It's really hard to do so though. You have the cold, calm and cunning face with a monocle. You have the angry, hot-blooded Arnold Schwarzenegger face. And my personal favourite, the jack-o'-lantern crazy random face. What's nifty is that even with the gimmick, his head can turn as a whole. Even if he can't aim his missiles forward, it would have been nice to have included some ice missiles to go with the cold face. But I'd guess there'd be no place for them to store, and if you watched my Waspinator review, you know I don't like leaving pieces to the side. Also, these purple pieces on his arms can be pressed. But nothing happens. I thought it may be part of another gimmick, but no. Weird. Overall, I would highly recommend this figure, as he has a decent tank mode and a very good robot mode with some nifty features. But with his weak jet mode, I can only give him a moderate recommendation. Next I'm looking at an Allspark Battle 2 pack. Until then,